Oops. Just give me a second. Hello. Hi, I just had to grab something to drink. How are you? Welcome. It's Barbara Moreau here. I'm sharing some ancient wisdom teachings. Don't mind the smoke. I have smudge going before I do this. I'm just laughing because my sister and I were joking around on Facebook. It's like, I gotta go, I'm late. So we have a list of 12 different topics that we're going to talk on. So we'll just talk until we're done. I'm not going to do a time limit thingy because that never works. So what we're going to share today is on how to reconnect your prayer ties if they fall, and what to do when seeing spirits and if they're not saying anything, forgiving yourself, unconditional love, grounding from astral traveling, the protections around the neck and the wrists and ankle, and how to forget hurt and lies in a relationship, blocking negative energy, body coldness, what does it mean, and how to know what gifts you have, clearing your eyes and not belonging, like when does it stop type of thing, or that feeling ever goes away, and moving forward from that. So we'll share some of that, some of the things that we've experienced and gone through. So I'll just keep yapping here. So how to reconnect prayer ties if they fall. The big thingies in the back there, those are prayer ties, and you can have any colors that you want or whatever colors you choose to. If you've gone to our workshops and you know how to hang them, so a lot of times they'll fall. Sometimes they'll just fall because it wasn't put in properly, or you know there's a fan in place or something that caused it to fall. The only time that it like really falls for something of a spiritual nature, it will like shoot off the wall. And when that happens, I'm just looking for something to use. What you can do is just like if this was a prayer tie, you would lower it and you would hold it because it's like a cloth, right? So you would sit there and you would lower it and you would touch Mother Earth with it and say, thank you, Mother Earth. And you would raise it up and say, thank you, Creator. Thank you, prayer ties. I ask for your help and your blessing. And then when you're holding it, you just kind of like clear the energy. And you ask for it to be blessed and purified. You ask for blessing on it. I ask for blessing on this to remove all the negative energy off of it. I'm going to rehang it. And I'm asking this prayer tie to connect to all the other prayer ties that are hung up to create a sacred circle and a vortex where only good spirits and good energy of divine love light energy is allowed in this sacred space in my home. So then you proceed to hang it up, and then after you hang it up, then you got to smudge and reconnect them by smudging each one and touching them and doing a prayer for each prayer tie, asking them to come and help and provide protection for your home and your sacred space. So that's pretty much how you would reconnect if they fall down. And so the next one is, what do we do when we're seeing spirits? So a lot of times spirits will show up. I could be sleeping and someone or something will show up in my room. If it's dark, feels heavy, doesn't belong, I will like jump up. I used to freak out my sister kids whenever I used to sleep in the same room as her. She would, sometimes she would sit there and she would look at me when I'm sleeping, and I just look and just open my eyes and look at her, and she's like, you're freaking me out. Every time I look at you, you wake up. So I just told her people who are gifted are really sensitive to energy. Even when you look out of your eyes, there's energy that comes out. So I had to explain to her that I've always been like that, and anytime someone looks at me, even on an airplane, I wake up and I'll look right at them. So I'm very sensitive to human energy, human behaviors, and all that wonderful stuff. So when I'm sleeping and I sense something in the room, I'll wake up, and then I'll get up in the middle of the night and I'll burn smudge. I'm just trying to make sure that the sunlight's not too much. I'll burn smudge and I'll tell it to leave. A lot of times spirits will come to you because they need help. And what I mean by help is sometimes they'll know that you're gifted, they'll sense and see your light and come to you because they want to go home. So then in your mind, you can ask your guides and see a white light opening, and you ask their family, it doesn't matter if you know them or not, the other side will know who they are, and you ask their family to come and guide them home, to let them know it's safe to go into the light, that they're going to go home and be with their ancestors, their family, their friends, and they're going to have a welcoming. It's time for them to go home. Sometimes I'll just go. Some of them will be a little bit stubborn, so that's why you ask for the family to come in so that they'll leave. And sometimes they'll come and they'll have a message, and you can ask them, what's your message? And if you can't hear them, then you can just say, okay, show me images, and you'll get images in your mind, and you'll have to learn how to read it, or you'll just know what it is. And if it's a message for somebody, or if it's for you or their family member, then it's up to you if you want to deliver that message to them. So basically, when you're seeing spirits that way, that's what you can do. If they are not good, you smudge them out and you ask the angels to come down and take them out, because you don't need that negative energy in your space. And forgiving yourself. Forgiving yourself is, sometimes people are really stubborn. It's like, oh, I'll never forgive. And it's like, okay, so you're taking two people, and by you not forgiving, you're always going to be permanently connected to that person if you don't forgive them. And you don't forgive, it's not forgetting, it's just what you want to do is get to that place of being able to talk about what had happened, kind of like talking, oh, I went to the store and I bought coffee, like a matter of fact. It's when you get to that place and you can talk about your life experience like that, then you know you're in a place of forgiveness. But if you're talking about the situation and you still have an emotional reaction, or you're still feeling like, or a little bit angry about it, there's forgiveness hasn't been done yet. So it's important to forgive, and the first person that you forgive is yourself. And if you have a hard time doing it, then every day tell yourself, I can forgive myself, or I forgive myself, or I can forgive over time. And what happens is, over time, once we start telling ourselves, I can forgive myself, and we repeat that pattern, we're downloading our memory cells and our bodies to build up that trust in forgiveness. Because forgiveness disconnects you from being attached to the person who has caused you harm. And you don't want to be connected to them, because every time you have an emotional reaction, you're giving your power to them. You don't want to give your power to someone who's dark and negative and hasn't learned to heal themselves yet. So it's really, really important to make sure that the forgiveness is for your sanity, so that you're not giving your power to them, you're not connected to them, you're disconnected, you disconnect from everyone that has hurt you in your past, so that you can send them love and blessings and be in your own power. Because every life experience we have an energetic cord that's attached to us, or there's an energy transfer into us. And a lot of times when they're feeling that's the energy that's been transferred to us, it's theirs, it's not ours. That's when you talk about what happened to you, you pull the energy out, because it's not yours. A lot of emotions that come up is an emotional transfer into your body in those moments that it had happened to you at any moment in your life. So key, get rid of the energy, understand the human behaviors, understand the recycled teachings in mankind as a whole, and the teachings that were brought here, and you will see that people don't even know that they're doing it. So in reality, everyone is innocent. Once you realize, okay, their memory cells, their reinforced teachings, that they don't even know that they're doing it, that when it happened to them as a child, in that child state, they were innocent. Even today, they're innocent because they have not come to that realization that they're doing it. So it's really understanding the human psychology of it. So forgiving yourself is starting with yourself. Just say, I forgive myself. And every day you could say, Creator, forgive me, I forgive myself. Many Horses has a beautiful prayer that we have on Facebook. It's, Creator, forgive me to walk the absolute truth. My first year after I learned that prayer and I got a copy of it, I printed it and I put it on my wall in my kitchen. I put one in the bathroom. So as I was cooking, I would say that prayer over the food. As I was doing my face, I was doing that prayer in the bathroom, and I learned it like the back of my hand. So that prayer, it covers everything that ever needs forgiveness. And if you say it every day, it's a good start. And memorize it if you want. I did. Even if you just say the simple terms, like, Creator, forgive me, I forgive myself. I've forgiven all those who harmed me. You can say that every day until you get used to that energy, and then you'll start realizing, okay, it actually feels really good. It feels lighter. Stuff's actually leaving me. So you can have a person in mind and say that prayer. It's on Facebook. It's under my photos. You can see it, Creator, forgive me to walk the absolute truth. It's Frank James Austin, Many Horses prayer that he shares openly, and we're continuing to share it. So unconditional love. what is it and how to live it. So basically, being unconditional is getting rid of your conditioned beliefs. It's rewriting your own core beliefs, and we have that on the poster. You can work on that on yourself, and you can do that in 1 or 2 nights, 3 nights if you want, but you do the whole program and follow through, and you will find that in the act of rewriting your belief system that you can be more unconditional. You can write the belief systems on your personal body. You can write the belief systems on men. You can put like all the beliefs that you have on men. You know, men are this, men are that, and rewrite every single one of them. You can use that same application of that poster I had used on how to rewrite core beliefs. You can also rewrite your beliefs on women, because we as women have silly beliefs about each other. So it's really important to rewrite your core beliefs, your beliefs on men, your beliefs on women, your beliefs on relationships. And once you get rid of all of those core beliefs, it's not getting rid of it. It's amping up your energy. It's rewriting them so you're unconditional. So you don't have these silly rules anymore. Like, women aren't supposed to dress like that. Women aren't supposed to look like that. You know, that's just a crock-a-doo-doo that you don't need in your vocabulary or in your subconscious. When you rewrite it, it rewrites your subconscious programming. So when you do that, then you get to that place of being unconditional. And you get to that place of getting rid of those old belief systems that are holding you back, because now those belief systems will come out as labels and judgments, and you're not allowed to do this, or men can't do this, women can't do that. It gets rid of all of that. And when you're in that place of being unconditional within yourself, in the beliefs of yourself, in the beliefs of male and females and relationships, you can get to that place of being unconditional. And then you have that with yourself. You don't have any more barriers. It's kind of like taking your head out of a box and there's no more box. I like that poster. It says, you know, where you stick it up someone's place, you know, get kids. Basically what I learned was that whole process will get you right out of the box syndrome. It'll help you rewire your brain and get you, it's a process of getting you out of brainwashing, because basically a lot of the beliefs we have are based on old beliefs that no longer fit anymore. So, and unconditional love is basically sharing, caring. It is giving without expecting anything back. It's kind acts, it's gestures, it's staying one ahead of the game with your spouse. Kind of like if you know that he goes out and he always forgets his glasses, leave his glasses by the door, or leave his keys by the door, or leave them a note in their bag when they go on a trip. You can do all kinds of stuff to show unconditional love, or to show them I'm thinking of you. And that is also trust building. So unconditional love is a part of who you are, is inside of you, without having all of these silly rules and beliefs to stop you, getting rid of fear. I think another one is actually getting rid of fear. A lot of times we have these deep-seated fears that come from our bloodline, kind of like the fear of authority, the fear of doctors, the fear of politicians, the fear of priests and nuns. That has to do with the history of how they treated our people. Those belief systems also come through the DNA and the memory cells from mother to child. So when we get older, it's like, why do we fear our ways? It's like, oh, because of the stuff that our family had gone through in the generations before. It's in our bloodline. And with the act of researching the laws and the history and how our people were treated, and knowing today that those laws were removed physically in 1985 and spiritually in the 60s, that we have that total freedom to go back and research and embrace our old ways again without fear. Once you understand the history, then you can choose. I choose not to fear this anymore. I choose not to be scared of doctors and RCMP and all these authority figures anymore, because I understand it was in my bloodline. I let it go. So the whole process of saying, I let it go, I understand the history, I understand where it started, I understand we have spiritual freedom, we can bring the old ways back and live in a modern way, then it's a lot easier for you to understand when those memory cells come through the bloodline. You have a choice to remove it by educating yourself. by removing, like clearing it out. As after you do the research, do a full body clearing. Like we have a video on Facebook on how to do self-clearings in our YouTube channel. So it's important that you can pull the memory cells out and the DNA belief systems in our bloodline once you understand the history of it. Because we just need to understand it in order for our body to say, okay, we can let that stuff go now. So getting rid of fear. And another one that I share with people is if you have intense fear of, they always say face your fears. And it's like, well, if I'm scared of bungee jumping, well, someday I want to, because I really do. But if you want to face your fears and it's something like skydiving and it's something that you can't get to, then you can just write it out. You can write out your fear of spiders, your fear of whatever it is. You write it out. These are my fears. I'm writing it out to admit it, to let it go, to remove the memory cells and DNA transfer in my bloodline. And then you write it all out and just write, I am scared of, I am fearful of, I am afraid of. And then at the bottom, you write in big capital letters, I let it all go. So the trick is to read it all back to yourself and then say, I let it all go. The memory cells will leave your body. It doesn't mean you have to go touch a spider or go be around them. It just means facing it is writing it. You can write it and you can shift it. And then for me, it's kind of like whatever I used to fear, I researched it, because for me, I used to fear heights. And I can go on a ladder and go on the second step and it feels like I'm going to fall. It feels like something's going to pull me down. So Many Horses and I stood on the cliff of a mountain one time and he held my hand and I'm like, just wait, I'm going to put my camera down. I didn't want to break my camera. So anyways, we stood on the cliff, he held my hand and he's like, feel it, just feel it. Don't get upset. You just want to learn. You just want to feel it. So I did, and I can feel that pulse in my legs. I said, I feel a pulse in my legs. He's like, what is it? I said, it's Mother Earth's gravity. He's like, yes. And he said, that's the feeling that makes me want to fall. And he said, yes. So I had to feel it in order for me to be okay with it. And then I said, standing here, just like looking at a picture. Yes, there's a cliff. I can feel Mother Earth's gravity pulling, but I know I'm safe. So it's just reinforcing that. So that was me. And the sun's going down, so I'm going to turn some lights on. Just a second. Okay, I hope that helped. So facing the fear, you can do it in the writing. And then when you're done, you can place tobacco in it and pray on it and say, I'm offering it to the other side, creator, higher power, whoever it is, and you let them know, I let it all go. I'm asking this to be removed from my body, my mind, my body, my spirit, my emotions, my DNA, my memory self, and I ask for it to come back as blessings, teachings, knowledge, wisdom, tools, and solutions. And then when you burn it, you'll feel like the energy coming off your body, that is the fear leaving. And talk to fear in your body. Whenever I feel fear, it's like I can feel it on the outside trying to come in. And then it's like, okay, fear, you can just stay out of me. You do not have permission to come into my body. So that's really important to start knowing whether fear is inside or whether it's coming to you. Because fear, when someone gets scared around you, you can feel that energy around you, right? So it's really important to distinguish if it's in me or outside of me, and what is it latched onto, what seed is it hooked onto. So the seed is, where did I first see it where I got really scared, and where did I experience it where I got really scared? And then talk about it and pull it out as you talk about those memories in detail. So first one where you saw it, second one where you experienced it, or you did it to someone else, or then you need to pull it out. And that will help you regain and remove the fear energy that was put into you in those life experiences. And so when the fear leaves, you can even talk to it in your tummy. You can put your hands on your stomach. And I do this with people when we're in session. So basically put your hand on your tummy and you talk to the fear and you say, fear, it's time for you to leave. You were passed on to me from the time I was in my mother's womb until today. Thank you for the teachings. It's time to go. And then you just rub your tummy, take a deep breath and pull it out. And then put your hands back on your tummy and breathe in, I love you. Breathe in self-confidence. Breathe in bravery. breathe in self-esteem, self-love, self-honor, self-respect, self-integrity, self-pride. So you breathe the energy that you need so that you can stay balanced and be in a place of not being scared anymore. So you can do that as much as you need to. Okay, so the next one is Astral Traveling. Many horses, it was really cool, kids. When he told me about it, he always explained to me things in simple terms where I can understand, where anyone could do it. And that's what I loved about him, because anytime I read books, it's like, oh, other people can do that. And he's like, well, you can do it if you want. It's like, well, what is it? He's like, well, I'm going to talk to you about astral traveling. I'm like, ooh. And he'll tell me about it. As soon as he's done telling me the process of it, like, I can do that. And as soon as I said, I can do that, my voice gave my mind, my body, my spirit, and my emotions permission to do it. So anytime you're learning about gifts, you tell yourself or say, I can do that. And it will happen way faster. So give yourself permission to be gifted, or to earn gifts, or to get gifts, or research gifts. And it's important. So astral traveling, what he explained to me was just going into a meditative state, being in a safe area, that when you leave your body, he's like, it's by you going in your mind or traveling in your mind, so your spirit will follow. And he said, when you leave, you make sure you ask one of your guides to sit into your body to make sure that you're safe and protected, guided and healed while you go out and check things. So I used to go check on my kids. And my daughter the next day, she's like, you came to the house last night, didn't you? I'm like, yep, like every time. She knew. So basically I would ask you can ask for like an eagle. You can ask any type of being, a thunder being or something, to come to pick you up. And then in your mind, you'll see this, like a huge eagle come. I had imagined one from that Frodo movie. You know, those big, huge eagles? I imagined one of those coming, and I asked for the spirit of the eagle to come in that form. And it did. So I jumped on its back, and I went from where I was at, and I went over to the community, and it took seconds. It didn't like hours of driving. It's like, okay, we're flying, boom, we're there. And then I got off, and I said, I asked the eagle to stay in my yard until I went in and helped my kids. I would go in and help my kids, bless them, purify them, clear them, send them lots of mother's love so they didn't feel lost or empty. And then left the house, cleared, like even smudged it out, did whatever I needed to do, and then went back out, jumped on the eagle and said, take me back to my body, take me back to my body. And then I would wake up. So once I would do that, you do feel like really high. It's like, holy smokes, because it's in a spiritual experience, your energy gets jacked up. So ground yourself. Put your hands on your shoulders. I believe you did a video on that a couple days ago where you can ground yourself. And then just put your hands on your shoulders and say, I'm grounded, on your knees and say, I'm grounded, or you can use just a sec, I'll show you. The sea salt slabs. I was showing this earlier in one of the videos. You can get 2 of these. I have 2 on the floor, and I put my feet on it to ground myself before I go to bed. Even I put my feet on it as I'm talking or as I'm doing work to help ground me so that I don't get over electrified or my energy doesn't get too jacked up. So it's grounding yourself after and telling yourself, because a lot of times what happens is the spiritual body will go out and come back, and sometimes it doesn't fit back in. So you got to hug yourself and say, Barb, get back in your body. You say your own name and you kind of hug yourself back in, because you want your spirit to be snug inside of you. And just say, it's safe to be home. You stay here now. Okay, we're done astral traveling. Thank you for helping me. So those are the things that you can do to help yourself in astral traveling if you choose to do that. And your guides will stop you from going to places that aren't safe. So you just go to places that you need to go. So another question was asked, the protection around my neck. So many horses always shared, red is very grounding. It helps us keep connected to Mother Earth. He said you can use any color you want, but he always preferred reds, and so did I. So I have red. It's just strips of cloth, and I twisted them and tied them on, and then cut off the excess cloth. Okay, and this is cloth with a silver medallion. This is Many Horses medallion. He had this made a long time ago, and I wear it to protect me. Basically what it does is Anything shiny on your neck will repel negative energy. Anything that is a color base, you can wear any color you want as long as you believe it's going to protect you, it'll work. And what it does is when we're talking, we're sharing energy. If I'm sharing energy with two people, the energy is going like this. If you're not wearing protection on your neck or anything shiny, the energy is going inside of each other. So now you're taking on each other's issues and traumas and energy. So it's important to have some type of shiny thing. It could be beads. It could be anything that you want that you know that's going to protect, so that only divine love light energy is allowed in your sacred space. So everything that you're allowing to come out is nothing but pure unconditional love, peace, and unity, and goodness, and all of that stuff. So, and on the wrist, you know, when you shake someone's hand, so if you shake someone's hand and they're grumpy and you're, you know, and you can feel they're grumpy, but they're being nice when they shake your hand, their grumpy energy is going to go into you. Later on, you're going to be grumpy and you're going to be like, why am I grumpy? What the heck? I was happy this morning. So the best thing to do is wear protection on your wrists. I actually met a lady who had a beautiful red tattoos on her wrist, and that's something I want to do next, is my wrist and my ankle. And so this stops the energy from going up, because the energy lines that are in our body, our hands connect to our heart. Because whenever we're doing healing, it's like we can give out energy through our hands, but we also send and receive energy through our hands. So what you want to do is to stop anything negative from coming up. People who have OCD, and it's like they have to wash their hands all the time because they can feel the energy. Like when I go to the store and come home, I'm washing my hands as soon as I walk in the door, because I can feel the energy of everyone touching the food or whatever I bought. And then I smudge my food, or I pray on them, and I kind of swipe the energy off so that I remove everyone's negative energy on there. And I pray on it to be blessed and purified. And I also wash my hands because I can feel the thickness on my hands. It's not OCD. It's very sensitive to human emotional energy left behind when people touch stuff. So this will stop it from going in the body, and it'll only stay at the hands. So I use essential oils on my hands before I go, and I put it on my body. That will also stop it from going in. So protection, it's on my ankles, because a lot of times what many horses have shared with me is any accidents or deaths or old fighting or whatever that's left on the land. Some people can leave bad medicine or bad intentions, and if someone walks over it, you can feel something hot go up your leg. If you have protection on, it's not going to pass your ankle. You can just kind of grab the energy and blow it off. Pretty cool. I saw it on there. But anyways, it's important to protect yourself. So that's a part of self-protection. You can wear beads. You can wear any color that you want. So, and how to forget hurt and lies in a relationship. So basically, you won't ever forget what had happened to you in your life. It'll come back in chunks and memories. But you can get to that place of forgiveness where it's like, I forgive you for the pain and sadness you passed on to me, because I understand you grew up with it, and that's your teachings, and that you taught it to me in our relationship, that I let it go, and you clear it off you. Because a lot of times when people hurt us in a relationship, they don't know they're hurting us. Sometimes they do. Sometimes it's deliberate mean action. Sometimes it's deliberate revenge. And those things, when you're in a relationship, it is hard to be in that energy. So the whole purpose for me, when I was in that situation, I was like, okay, what are you teaching me? You're showing me I used to be revengeful. Maybe there's something I have to go back and look at and forgive myself. So that's what I did, was I went back and I looked at my past. This person allowed me to uncover some of the stones I haven't uncovered yet, to forgive myself, because if it's bothering me, I did it. It didn't mean I'm doing it in the current situation. People will show us our triggers of things that we have to admit in our past. They are amazing teachers. So when you get to that place of forgiveness, it's like talking about getting a cup of coffee, and you can talk about the situation without having a negative emotional attachment after you clear it out. Because if it bothers you, you've done it. You've seen it, and you've done it. It doesn't matter when in your life. That's the part you need to clean out, so that you can be at peace with what's happening in front of you. And the best thing you can do is, if you're still in that situation, is to do lots of research on healthy relationships, research on the history of our people, research, and share it with the loved one that you're with so that they understand these are recycled teachings that we are bringing up, that we don't need them in our life anymore. And to start building trust, and to stop yourself from throwback, stop yourself from playing those games. If there's immature responses, pull back. How can I respond to this instead of reacting? So it's being in self-control of yourself and doing all kinds of research to help yourself get to that place of being in balance, and to not take things personal. It is really hard when you're in it, because sometimes we get dragged back into who we were, because we're finding, okay, they're teaching me unresolved issues, unresolved things I've done in my past that I haven't let go of yet. So that's why I'm reacting. So now it's take a step back, heal yourself. So when it's in your face, you're not going to react. You're going to respond as a mature adult. So that's the trick. Teach yourself is, you have to teach yourself to grow up, grow up and out of that. So you need to be in a better place so that the person that you're with, you can teach them by action, and you can ask them to work with you. Just say, this is what's going on, and I'm going to do all kinds of research, and I really want us to make it, because if this continues, it's not going to happen. So you got to be upfront and in a gentle way, not saying, I'm going to leave you if it doesn't stop, because that's not going to work. You need to tell them, this is the human behaviors that are going on, and I really want us to work. If we can work together, we can make it. We just have to change how we're reacting and learn to be more mature and respond in a healthy manner. And if they work with you, great. I mean, that's perfect. If they don't, and they don't want to admit it, you just continue to heal yourself. And over time, you can teach them how to do it in a better way. And the only time, and you always work with people, and always use them as a teacher. Don't beat them up. Don't put them down. Don't give them an earful unless you have to protect your human rights, you know, your sacredness. You have to protect your spiritual rights. And that is the only time that you would actually speak up and put your foot down. But if you have an opportunity to make it work, and if this person's willing to work with you, then you have a really good chance. You just have to negotiate with them. Learn to negotiate. Research communication. Research how to negotiate in relationships. So expand your knowledge, and then that will help you. And to block negative energy. Basically, anytime someone has a negative thought, intention, they deliberately do a ceremony or deliberately do a negative prayer, or that energy will go and find the person no matter where they are in the world. And I have worked with people and have experienced it myself, and living with many horses, deliberate intentions to cause harm and separation, and to the point where it was so bad that it made him sick. And I will write a book on it. And basically, to block that is to know where it's coming from. So you just ask your guides, where is it coming from? And once you see their face, then you say, okay, I'm aware of this now. I'm asking my guides to block all of their negative thoughts, all of their curses, all of their bad intentions, all of their negative prayers, or any ceremonies, black magic, or witchcraft that they're sending, to block it. I'm asking my guides to block all of it out of my home, out of my sacred space, away from my children, away from my family, and keep all of us in creator's love, light, and healing energy. And you got to do it daily, and you got to smudge daily. And use like the chime thingies, get rid of negative energy, Tibetan singing bowl, I have one over there, drumming and praying, listening to drumming and praying music, listening, even any type of feel-good music will keep negative energy out. And when you get scared of it is when that energy can come in. So no fear. Many horses always used to say, Barb, no fear. So there was times where spirits had manifested in my room, and I'd be knocking on his door, and he's laughing at me, like, just a spirit in my room. And he would just come in and do his smudging and tell it to get out, and it would leave. And he had no fear. And when I was working with students and we had stuff happen like that, we're knocking on the walls, I had to do the exact same thing. No fear, and just do, so that they can see it in action, how to get rid of it. So it was, if something's knocking on the wall, I'll hit the wall back and say, get out of here, you're not welcome. Because if you don't say anything, silence is permission and they'll come in. If you hit the wall back and tell them to leave, they have no choice but to leave. So it's important to make sure that you have protection up in your house. Salt in the four corners, diamonds in the four corners, protection up on the four walls, whatever it takes for you to protect your home, you protect it. So you make sure that that energy doesn't come in. If you feel it comes in, smudge it out, and also do a self-clearing on yourself. If you feel it's in your body, use a whole 2-kilogram bag of sea salt in a tub with juniper oil, because demonic energy, dark energy does not like juniper oil. You can put like 10, 20 drops and jump in the tub, pray, and clear yourself. And then call your power, your permission, and your spirit back. So it's super, super important to keep your spiritual safety in check and to keep your body in balance. You don't need any of that. And it's, what happens is when that goes on, you need to ask your guides to forgive them and to not hurt them. Because especially if you're a healer, I've had to do lots of prayers for people, for my guides not to kick their butt, because your guides will protect you like a brand new baby, like a mother bear. They will attack. I'll just say, bless and purify, block it, forgive them. They don't know any better. And so it's important to really, really be careful in how you present yourself to anyone, because you never know who is gifted in this world. And pretty much everyone is. So just learn to be respectful, mind your own business. If you don't have to take them home, you know, many horses obviously say, mind your own business. If you don't have to take them home, it's none of your business. It's only when you have to live with someone that it's in your space that it's your business. So he said, just have that perception. Everyone's your teacher, be observant and learn from them. So body coldness. So anytime I'm doing, like say I'll be here and I'm reading a book, and if something comes in the house, I will get like a deep inner cold that won't go away. I know something dark is in my house. I'll get up and I'll smudge, and I'll use the bowl, I'll use the chime, I'll pray. I'll even walk around the house with like a drum, and I'll start singing, and I'll sing them out. And I'll ask the angels on the other side, protectors and warriors, to take them out back to the other side. If they run, to disintegrate them, because dark energy is like kids in a cookie jar. They keep going back, they keep going back, they keep going back. So you have to set a clear boundary, send them back to the other side. If they run, disintegrate them, because they'll go way far away, and then as soon as your guard goes down, they'll come back. So you need to direct traffic. So it's really important to keep your home and your sacred space protected. So usually when I get like a good feeling, a good blessing, I'll get like chills head to toe, or from my shoulders down, and my guides are saying, what you're saying is right. What you know, the messages that you're giving is right. So anytime you hear things that you need to hear, or say things that you need to say, you'll get the chills. And that's the other side going, thumbs up. So, and there's other times where I'm laying down, and if my guides decided to download me, I'll just get energy flushes, and then I'll get chilly. Not cold, I just feel chilly, like I get goosebumps head to toe. It's like, okay, you're downloading me only divine love, light, energy, and the absolute truth is allowed in my sacred space. And if it continues, then I know it's a download, so, and a healing, or whatever they need to do to help me. So they also help you from the other side. You can ask them to help you that way too. And how do you know what gifts you have? So what I did for myself was I actually researched the list of gifts that are out there, and the characteristics, like what they are and how they're used. And I remember the first time I had done that, it was like, wow, I could do that one. Wow, I could do that one. Wow, I can do that one. And so it's important to do your own homework and figure out what they are. Some of them are psychometry and all kinds of different stuff, right? Like holding an object and reading it, holding a plant, like a vitamin bottle, and reading it, looking at people and reading their energy, being empathic, intuitive, gut feeling, all kinds of stuff. There's all kinds of names, but there's also more in-depth ones. Astral Travel is one of them. So you make sure that you go out and you research those things so that you know whether you have it or not. And then it's your own validation. So you don't need someone else telling you what you can and can't do. That's your job. And if you know you can do it, then you need to practice it all the time in order to build on it. So it's like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets, the more accurate it gets. So pull up your big girl panties and start doing research. It's so important to educate your mind. That's how you keep your brain strong, and how you keep yourself in a good place is putting goodness back in your noggin. So another lady had made a post 2 times. She had asked about her eyes, and I'm really sorry that I didn't answer. I'm going to do it now. Anytime the eyes go off, it could be a download, and sometimes I'll get images in my eyes, almost like different writing, and so what I'll do is like, okay, I'm getting a download. And there's other times where my neck is out and it'll cause a migraine, and I'll get squiggly lines in my eyes. So I'm like, okay, my neck is out. I need to get a back massage, or I need to crack my neck. So it's just knowing the difference, because when your neck is out, it will affect your eyes. So that's the physical part. The spiritual part is a download. And you can clear your eyes, because everything you've seen in your life and hear in your life goes through your eyes, and it downloads the memories and the energy into all your organs. So we'll just quickly do an eye clearing. I remember Many Horses sharing one time that he had done it before, and what he had done was he had done it so much with his eyes closed that everything went white. And he's like, he was saying, I don't know what the heck was going on, but everything went white, and I just kept pulling. He's like, I must have done it for 45 minutes until my vision came back, but after that I can see a lot clearer. So you can clean your eyes and your ears with the same process. So we'll do it. So basically what you do, it's like plugs in your eyes, and this one is like elastic. So you remember, everything that we see goes into all our organs. So there's many energy lines going into the organs. So you got to be very gentle. You don't just pull, because it's going to snap back and you're going to hurt your organs energetically. So when you pull, it's like grabbing and gently pull away from your body, and then it'll like break apart like taffy, and you throw up. Okay, so you cup your eyes and you take a deep breath, and you just gently pull and throw up. And you could do that 3 times. So once you do that, then you can clear your eyes, and you can keep doing it for as long as you want, or you can keep just do the 3 times. You can do it with your ears as well. So it's arms out, gentle throw up 3 times. Okay, so, and then after that you can put love back in. Breathe, I love you. And then breathe, I love you. So that will help. You can do those things. You can do that every day if you want. It's in the self-clearing. So when the self-clearing, you pull everything out, then it's left hand on the forehead, right hand 2 inches under the belly button. In the breathing, I love you, feel the head to toe. When you're just going to do individual parts, you got to put love back in. Okay, so remember that. Always put love back in. And not belonging. There's always a feeling of not belonging, like, why am I here? It has to do a lot with when you're gifted. It has to do a lot of a yearning to not be here, like there's something better, there's something more in life. And I find a lot of healers go through this. A lot of people are gifted and they don't know. Sometimes they know, but they don't know to the extent of how gifted they are. And a lot of them are super gifted, and some of them are just starting. But I've met people that live everyday lives and they're gifted right to the nuts, and it's just like, wow, this is really cool. So when we have that feeling of not belonging, that's because we don't necessarily feel that we come from here. There's different levels on the other side of where spirits come from. And our spirit will choose our path on our life, like the life experiences, like the major things that are in our life. And it's a yearning to go home sometimes. Most times, actually. It's like, okay, I don't really fit in here. I don't really fit in with my family. As much as I love my family, I don't fit in. It's almost like a black sheep of the family, but you're really not the black sheep. So that is a normal feeling that we have as gifted people. And it doesn't stop. You just learn to accept. So it's like, okay, I accept I'm an oddball. I accept I don't belong here. I accept my spirit or my gifts are from a higher place, and I'm okay with that now. I accept that within me now and bring it in. Because a lot of times, the more you deny it, the stronger it gets. And you just want to get to that place. Ooh, someone didn't like hearing that. So what happens is coming to that place of accepting that part of you. A lot of times people are like, well, I don't feel human. And it's like, well, maybe kind of your spirit comes from a higher place on the other side that isn't a human spirit. And that happens too. And that's where the not belonging feels. And once you accept it, you can learn to work with it. And then you can start moving forward in life and finding your purpose and, you know, finding what you want your life, how you want your life to be fulfilled. Yeah, so don't look for that happiness because it's just a high. You'll have moments of happiness, lots and lots and lots, but to have that feeling of contentment and purpose is to have your life be fulfilled. It doesn't matter how many trips you go on, it doesn't matter how much items you have. It's just a quick release, endorphin release or dopamine release in the brain of happiness that's short-lived. So that's why people are like, oh, my new car. And then all of a sudden after a while, it's like, yeah, it's my car. You know, so living a life of fulfillment and having a goal and pushing yourself forward in your life. I mean, sometimes we might have to go back to school, sometimes take courses. I mean, I've taken an online course on life scale psychology, so you can do things to move yourself forward. I'm constantly researching human behaviors to keep myself up to date. Maybe there's something new I need to learn about myself. So that's the whole purpose, is moving forward, is helping yourself. And everything I learned, I adapted in my own life. And then what happens is, when I adapt in my own life and people come to me for help, then I can share my life experiences and how I heal myself in order for them to help themselves. And I only share stuff that I've done. So all of the core belief write-ups, I've done all of them. That's where I've gotten to the place of being unconditional. I'm on the live video, my boy, just wait. Sorry. So we'll finish it up. My son needs help. And I've hit up all the topics. And thank you for joining. So I love you guys. Love you lots. I disconnect from you. I send you lots of loving blessings. And we'll see you soon. Bye.